After working for many years with many people as a healer, I see that there is only one disease, and that is being unconscious of your unconscious mental patterns. And this unconscious negative self-talk is based on the decisions that we made when we were children about ourselves and about the world. Decisions such as, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, the world is not a safe place, I will always lose no matter what I do. So here I just want to give you a couple of examples from this wonderful book that I use, Heal Your Body by Louise Hay, where she explores and links those negative patterns to specific diseases. And she has a tiny little book with a list of diseases, and people still contact her and say, and what about that disease? It's not listed. And she says, you know what? Ask yourself, because you will know if you ask yourself. There are as many diseases as there are people. Yes, there are solid categories, typical diseases, right? The heart disease, the cancer, but it's always a little bit different for each person, because all of us are different, and we create these different loops of, of thoughts. They are always slightly unique. So truly for your own healing, you have to go deep there, and I'll show you a little bit later how, and become aware and catch those thoughts and watch yourself creating them. And when you're in that state, when you're that far in your self-development, you will heal. So here I want to give you a couple of examples of the disorders. I want to start with accidents. A friend of mine just had a pretty bad accident, and the probable cause is rebellion against authority, belief in violence, and also inability to speak up for the self. Well, I think in his case, it's really a rebellion against authority. And so the new thought pattern would be, I release the pattern in me that created this. I am in peace, I am worthwhile. Another example, addictions, right? Running from the self, fear, not knowing how to love the self. So here, the predominant emotion that's connected to the addiction is fear. And actually for accidents, the predominant addiction will be anger, right? Rebellion, it's anger. Alcoholism, what's the use? Feeling of futility, guilt. So underlying emotion of alcoholics is guilt. What else? How about, I'm looking for cancer, because it's so big nowadays. Deep hurt, resentment, deep secret of grief eating away the self, carrying hatreds. And so now you can look at yourself, instead of being afraid of, oh my God, what if I get a cancer, and like eating all the right foods and doing all these precautions, which is to improve your diet is always a good idea, but improving your thought diet is what really truly gonna save you from having any of those deadly diseases. And so for cancer, the statement will be, I lovingly forgive and release all the past. I choose to fill my world with joy. I love and approve of myself. And one more example, a cause of diabetes, not enjoying the sweetness of life. How ironic, the sweetness of life. And then your sugar goes up because you cannot process it anymore. You cannot process the sweetness of life. And so to cure yourself from diabetes, all you have to do is to remove that negative belief that you need to work hard, that you need to struggle to survive, that life is hard and difficult, and just release that because it's not true, and just start enjoying life. And I know it's easier said than done, because many of my clients already become aware of the patterns, but they always ask me, well, I'm aware now, and I start to catch those little thoughts, but when am I gonna change? Like, I still feel, you know, I still have the disease and this disease. I'm like, well, it's a gradual process. You accumulated all this garbage in time, so give yourself time to release that. And if you know that you, let's say, gonna die from cancer and doctors gave you a month, then go faster, go real fast. You know, do something radical, radically connect with those thoughts, radically clear your mind from the negative beliefs, and radically start to enjoy yourself, find your path in life, and follow the calling of your true self. Because the cause of the cancer is when we deny this life to ourselves, when we deny our true self, and now we decided to do something that's against our own nature, just because we think that we have to and there is no other choice and everybody's doing it. But it's not true. Again, it's a belief. And I mentioned that there are emotions that underlying the disease. First, we create a thought pattern in the early childhood, and then we start to believe that thought pattern, or that we start to believe the decision that we made about ourselves or the world. And then based on this decision, we create thought pattern. And the more we think this way, the more it reinforces itself, the thicker and stronger those neurological pathways in our brain become, the stronger they become, like highways versus small roads. And so now the thought becomes so quick. I'm not good enough. Oh, this happening because I'm not good enough. Oh, this happening because nobody will ever love me. I'm not lovable. I'm not lovable. And so that thought becomes so fast that we are not even aware of creating this thought, but the action that we do as a result of the thought are very prominent, and they're obvious, and they're big. And the emotions that we feel connected to this thought is very powerful, and they're prominent, and now they're dominating the body, and now they're making the body sick, because now we feel sadness or anger or fear. Fear is a big one for lots of diseases. So the emotions are your arrow points to your thought pattern. So when you feel, the best way to catch the thought pattern, if you cannot catch it in your mind, catch it through the emotions. So because the emotions are so big and overwhelming, and you can really feel them, you can catch them easier than the thought. So when you feel the emotion, first of all, connect to the emotion. Don't suppress that anger. Don't suppress that fear. You don't necessarily need to act on it, but really feel and connect. And then ask yourself, why am I feeling this? What thought in me caused this emotion? And it will be easier than kind of like walk backwards and connect with your thought. And eventually, when you will catch the thoughts, because you'll be so good at it, you can say, no, that is not true. Catching those thoughts, it's like catching mosquitoes in a dark room. You really have to listen attentively. And this noise, like, you're not good enough, that mosquito, right? And you're listening to that little voice, and you go, it's not true. I am good enough. What do you mean? I am the divine being of light. I came from the same source as everyone else in this world who are good enough to have anything they want. How come am I not good enough? That is a lie, right? That I believe for a while, and now I choose not to believe it. And so as soon as you make that change, the decision, you will change the emotion. And so you start to feel good instead of feeling bad. And that is the healing process that you need to go through to truly heal yourself from pretty much any of these chronic, uncurable diseases that modern medicine cannot cannot help you with. They can give you medications that maybe will ease the symptoms a little bit, but they can really nothing to do with, they cannot really cure the root of it because they don't work with the root. But don't make a mistake of using drugs that make you high to feel this high elevated states of joy, love, gratitude, because that's like using a crutch. You're not getting stronger in your practice if you start to use drugs to make you feel good. Like, for example, a person who lives in fear would start to take cocaine, that makes you feel so powerful and in control, when in fact you're using it as a crutch to feel that way, because you in fact feel so powerless and so not in control. People who use opioids, people feel so much pain, emotional pain, which is fear, which is probably sadness, guilt and shame. That's the combination of feelings. To take opioids to numb the pain instead of eliminating the pain by addressing it, by feeling it, by asking that pain what thoughts caused me to feel that way, and by changing their mind. So that's a way to deal with that. Opioids or cocaine will never help you to cure your mental disease. You need to cure it by changing your thoughts about yourself and your belief system. The addiction to negative emotions and thoughts has a momentum. And that's why sometimes it's so hard to just stop and change your mind and start always being happy, because this momentum of the years that is behind you, that you've been thinking and feeling a certain way, is pushing on you and pushing you in that direction of towards the disease. It's so unfamiliar to us to feel joy, love, and gratitude when we used to feel fear, resentment, and anger. And so here we have to learn how to make the unfamiliar familiar. So you see, it's a really fundamental shift in ourselves that we need to create in order to heal ourselves. We need to change the momentum, that energy of momentum, and that addictions to the bad, negative emotions. And again, it's a gradual process. Unless you have, again, 5 days to leave, you probably want to make that change real fast, because then, you know, the death will make it for you. But if you want to continue in this realm for a little bit longer, then navigate yourself out of it. And the way to do it is, of course, to become completely present and conscious of the thoughts and emotions, and that create the momentum. And the way to do that, the only way to do that, is to step out of that reactive mind, step above to the place of an observer, to your higher mind. And that is done through meditations. That is an easiest way to do this. Most people, even though they're really sick and they are not feeling well and they struggle and they hurt, wouldn't find 5 minutes to meditate and to connect to the higher selves and to the higher mind and place themselves, their attention, to the place of an observer, so they can become conscious of all that patterns that run them. You see, when patterns run you, it means that you don't have the power, or you're not in control of yourself, that something else is in control of you, and that's the patterns, mental and emotional patterns that run you. And so when you're completely out of control, something else would step in control, and that's usually cancer or any type of disease. But cancer is such an ally, it will show you that, well, you're not in control, so I'll be in control. So if you want to be in control, you need to step in control, and then the cancer will disappear. Cancer is actually can be cured pretty easily. You just have to step in control. And to step in control, you have to become aware of yourself and the patterns that run you. Again, stepping up to your higher self, to your soul, to your brilliant, divine being. Becoming that again. If you fail to become who you truly are in this lifetime, you're gonna die. You're gonna then remember. I was like, oh, I'm not my body, I'm not my mind. Oh, geez, I forgot. Now I remember. And so, it's gonna go on. Some people who are addicted to negative feelings begin to enjoy them. They actually enjoy being angry, or they enjoy being sad. Something happens, probably people like this, and that person just immediately gets to the anger. You feel like you always have to be very careful about that person because he or she so easily to snap at an anger. Well, that's an addiction, very reactive addiction. Or some people start to cry right away, like become very sad and depressed. And I used to be like that. My go-to was the sadness. And one day I realized that, gee, I think I'm enjoying being sad. Gosh, what's wrong with me? That's weird, But that realization actually turned me around, because I'm like, I don't want to be enjoying sadness. It's sick. It's not right. I want to enjoy happiness, right? To stop the momentum of negative thoughts, you need to stop in silence. And from the silence, you will observe, you will experience the unfoldment of the light, of the joy, of love that you are made out of. You don't need to bring it out, it just unfolds from you naturally because you're made of light and love. And so stopping in the meditation and contemplating your own light, your own love, your brilliance is the purpose of the meditation and is the medicine that can cure any most deadly disease, because you will be able to become conscious of yourself 100%. I wrote a book that I give to people for free as a free download, and you can download it by clicking on the link below in the description. The book is called 5-Minute Meditations, just because I know how busy everyone running around running the patterns, and it's so hard to stop, and momentum is pushing on strong. So I always say you can find 5 minutes to stop. You can stop for 5 minutes. And the meditations are designed to connect to your higher self, to ground yourself, to become aware of yourself and entire creation. And then you can start creating your own meditations. Contemplate what you want to contemplate. Choose what you want to focus on and put your undivided attention and your higher mind on it and just observe. And the answers will always come to you. Like any problem or any question, the answers will always come to you if you contemplate that question or problem in silence from your higher mind, not from your monkey mind, not from your emotions of fear and lack, but from your divine self. So I hope that helps, guys. My biggest desire is for everyone in the world be healed and be well and stay in these higher vibrations of love, joy, and gratitude, enlightenment, brilliance, or at least neutrality. If you feel bad right now, just come to neutrality first. And from neutrality, you can build on to this euphoric, beautiful, high emotions. And then imagine the world when everyone is always happy and they're happy to see you everyone loves you, accepts you as you are, and you accept yourself as you are because you're amazing. Imagine living in a world like that, where there's no lack, there is no fear, there's no anger, because there is no reason for it. There are no mental disease platform or those negative thoughts that would create such feelings. Imagine a world like this, and it begins with you. So let's all participate and start to feel better about ourselves and about the entire existence. Thank you. Let me give you one little meditation right now. Sit down, or you can do it standing up, and place your feet on the floor or on the ground and really connect with the planet Earth beneath you. That planet Earth that flies through space and you sit on top of it. Connect to its core, to its electromagnetic core, and let that electromagnetic energy nourish you. And then close your eyes and visualize the Earth as a little ball in space, and you place it right in the center of your heart, and you feel love, this abundant love, the nuclear explosion of love in your heart for the Earth. Yes, you can raise vibration of the entire planet Earth by just doing this little meditation. And by loving the Earth so much, you will receive so much love back from her that you will just feel love and secure in this world, and nourished and supported, because our Earth is like our mother, right? It's we, the children of the Gaia here on this planet.